days of letting it digest and that, just talk about the accomplishments in Las Vegas and what your thoughts are as you cap the season off.
Well, I mean, the thing I focus on is that our guys really, I think, played the best basketball at the proper time of year, and I think even going back to our Bay Area trip was one of those moments I think that was a little bit of a turning point for us when we didn't play that well. Or actually at Cal, the first game of that trip, we played really good basketball for 16 minutes, and the team's always had a great deal of resolve, I think, and had a couple good practices at Stanford, and then a disappointing game there, and we came back and kind of redefined where we were going, and we won a couple home games and won our first couple games there. And I think as a team and a coach, you want to not be playing really good basketball at a certain point and then taper off. And so it built a little bit for us. We obviously had some games that we would love to have won along the way that we didn't. But I just think about being real proud of the kids and the fact that they stuck to it. And it's really difficult, I think, this time of year. There's only a handful of teams that really feel good about how they go out. I mean, Oregon's one of them with the way they played in the tournament. Still, when you get in the NCAA tournament, it's hard to finish seasons with wins. But to know that we won 4 out of 5 games going down the stretch against some pretty good teams, I think is, generates a little bit of feel good as we move forward. And we're obviously going to miss the seniors on our roster, and I think we get back here after spring break and everybody decompresses a little bit and clean off the desk and have some staff meetings and some administrative type meetings, and then get back in the saddle with some workouts and get after it again. But it certainly feels, finishing that way feels pretty darn good.
As you reflect back on the year, where do you guys think you made the most progress from October till now?
Well, I think what happened a little bit was defensively was maybe where we were hanging our hat for half the season, maybe even more than that when we got into league, and then we were having a hard time with some turnovers and some efficiency from an offensive point of view. And I thought we got a lot better in terms of our execution and sharing the basketball at the right time of the season. And then we had a little bit of wake-up call with our defense, and we really got back to, at the end of the year, just playing really, really hard and challenging our guys to maybe think about less in the scouting report and just going out and really establishing yourself and knowing that energy and a little bit of fight takes care of a lot of things. And I think that's where, right at the end of the season, maybe the last, I would even go into the Cal game a little bit, even though Stanford was certainly, we stubbed our toe, but we were starting to figure out how to play really hard defensively and focused, and then realizing that you have to play really hard and focused at the offensive end, and kind of putting those two things together. So I would say just the ability to maybe wrap some stuff up where we weren't turning the ball over mindlessly while we were playing hard. I think we started figuring out, hey, let's play hard and defensively, and then have the discipline to kind of keep that going on the offensive end and give ourselves a chance. I think that's what helped us going down the stretch, was kind of tying the whole game in.
What's the next step for Jordan Loveridge in his game? What's going to be kind of the off-season routine that you'd like to see him, and where you'd like to see him improve his game most going into next year?
Well, I think just before the Bay Area trip, I think we watched enough video, and he was a little bit enamored with the three-point line, stretching the floor, and we just didn't see that aggressive nature from him, where he was kind of playing with a little bit of reckless abandon. Like I think that's the key to his game, is when he brings his motor and his energy and he doesn't think too much and he's just kind of flying around. That makes him a real efficient player. It's a hard matchup, I think, for some of the posts to keep up with him on the perimeter, but he can't rely on that strictly. And I think when we got to California, he was putting some people in a tough way in terms of guarding him when he was attacking the basket. you know, a little bit reckless abandon on the glass, getting some rebounds and putbacks. But I think, you know, as he continues to improve, it's got to be more of a perimeter skill set where we get a little bit more efficient with attack moves from the perimeter. You know, maybe instead of relying on his strength and kind of the bully mentality. I just for lack of a better word, I'm certainly not calling him a bully, but when he puts the ball on the floor, I don't think, you know, at this level, you can expect to dribble it 3 or 4 times and then get off a really good shot. And it's always kind of been the, I'm just going to keep moving my way to the rim until I get close enough to where I can shoot it. So I'm really looking forward to working on a perimeter game, pick and pop, and real efficient, you know, shot fakes and 1 dribble moves, 2 dribble moves, to where he can get by a guy and not have to plan on, you know, just trying to out-physical him down to the glass. I think that's going to be one of the areas. And just mentally, you know, anytime you get through a freshman season, I think for our guys to know that they've been there and kind of get a lay of the land, I think he's got potential to start making some strides in his game now because the brain's going to have to quit working quite as hard. You know, and you gain a little confidence in your ability, and it's like, okay, now let's tackle some of my deficiencies instead of kind of being caught up as a freshman in this league with whether it's referees or scouting reports or what, you know, just not being in arenas. I think the familiarity with the league should give him a little boost going forward. Not just him, but all our freshmen.